Now, today is International Reggae Day 2023, which is celebrated under the theme From Brukins to Bogle, the global influence of 80s and 90s dancehall. The spotlight brings its pivotal era that has helped to shape Jamaican music and its impact on global culture to the fore. International Reggae Day is a simultaneous program of media specials as well as live and virtual events themed around the day and Jamaica's musical and cultural influence, also hosting in particular countries around the world. Andrea Davis, based in Jamaica, the organizer and founder of International Reggae Day, joins us now for this conversation. So excited to have you join us. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Let's just first start with how
Thank you so much for having me.
How is it being observed in Jamaica at the moment?
Well, we have just concluded the second of our two signature events here in Jamaica, which was a special dance lecture at the Edna Manley College here in Jamaica, in Kingston. And it was called From Brukins to Bogle. And it was really about showcasing and highlighting the importance of dance in the dance hall, because as you said, we're celebrating this year the global influence of 80s, 90s dance hall, a very Jamaican phenomenon that has not only been an impacting sound for Jamaican music, but also influenced a number of other genres around the world, from hip hop to reggaeton. And we are acknowledging and recognizing that influence, but we're also looking at its roots. So From Brukins to Bogle speaks to the African retention here in Jamaica, our connectivity with the motherland, and the movements and spiritual ancestral space that continues to inform our contemporary space. So a direct line can be drawn between those folk movements and what we do currently in the world of dancehall and dance, and that which has also spilled over into other popular forms of music around the world. You see that movement carrying through hip hop, through pop, and obviously all the other genres that are influenced. So that's what we're doing. And today there are a number of other things happening. There's a street dance, there are acoustic concerts, but not just in Jamaica. Around the world, there are events and parties and specials happening, as you said, not just physical, but also virtual and in the media space.
Mm-hmm. And perhaps just to go back to the history lesson, to talk to us about Brukins and speak to us about the legend that is Gerald Levy, their history and how they came to influence culture so much.
Well, you know, the beauty is that it's a lifestyle culture. So it's not just the music you hear, but it's the style, it's the fashion, it's the language, it's the dance, and it's the production that was so different in that time that has, I think, allowed for this to be the gold standard of dancehall in the world, and that even today, the artists of that generation continue to be the ones that are in demand, that are sampled, that are very sought after for collaborations. You know, the Beanie Mans and the Bounty Killers and the Sean Pauls are still the ones who are starting the party and ending the party. And so it's very important for us to recognize the excellence in terms of production and creativity that was the hallmark of that era. And so we're not only recognizing, like I said, artists and producers, but also our sound systems and our game changers, people like Carleen, the dancehall queen, or Bogle, for whom this lecture was partly named. He was the first and primary mover and shaker when it came to dance in the dance hall. No longer with us, but his legacy lives on.
And I was actually fascinated to read that all the way to what would be obviously not now, but contemporary culture, but if you're speaking about Michael Jackson and the moonwalk, and it's very interesting how that wave of influence, as you say, goes around the world, but just the ideologies behind it, why people resonate with it, why it's important to keep it alive.
I think it was, as we had a panel this morning with some of the architects of this sound, some of the producers who really created the move, people like Sly Dunbar, like Clevie Brownie from Steely and Clevie, or Jeremy Harding, who was instrumental in introducing everything from Beanie Man's Who Am I to Sean Paul. It was really about an intent they had as producers to create music that was fun, to allow people to relieve their stress, to give people something to uplift them. And that combined, I think, with the style and flash, the passion and the blood retention we have from Africa as Ashantis, that we were able to create something very, very unique in Jamaica, as we have done before with reggae music, ska, rocksteady, and dub, that we have something that we have been blessed as a nation to be able to call not only our own culture, but know that it has truly become part of the global culture.
As you mentioned, it transgresses genres, media, art, fashion, it's spiritual as well. So to young people, just trying to teach them about the importance of this history.
Well, you know, one of our ambitions has always been and continues to be for International Reggae Day for us to help connect the roots to the branches. So one, we want to give flowers to those who've made it possible for today while they're still with us. But two, we want the youth to understand the roots on which they build, the foundation that grounds their future. And these types of exercises, these initiatives and these programs and specials and panels and so on that we have are really geared towards trying to showcase to the youth, not just the need to appreciate what came before, but also to understand the rich legacy that is there to build on.
Yes, I was watching and just seeing the Ethiopian flag there. I was actually recalling an event years ago. I met Buddy Whaler in Ghana, you know, at the Gold Coast, and he kept on asking me, "What is your name, child?" And I said, "Tepiso," and he said, "No, what is your given name, child?" So he was trying to bring me back to history and civilization. And I found that very fascinating, that interconnectivity that is lost to us.
Well, you know, Africa is at the heart of the universe, and it is very much a part of our experience as children of Africa in the diaspora. We maintain our identity, our connectivity, and our spirituality grounded in the truth that we are from this very blessed space. And so what we do here as Jamaicans in this transition has been to take those roots and really marinate them in the flavor of what we like to call out of many one. You know, Jamaica is a unique space. It reflects basically all races on the planet here. And we've managed to find a way to blend cultures in a way that's uniquely Jamaican. And I think that's part of the reason why the world loves Jamaica so much, because we have a little reflection of each of the corners of the planet with us. And I think the blessing of reggae music and dancehall music is that it has become the soundtrack to people's lives. It has become an uplifting, inspiring, and unifying force. And with messengers like Bob Marley, with messages like One Love, with philosophies like Marcus Garvey, Jamaica has only positive possibilities ahead of itself, and definitely a legacy of cultural expression and contribution to the world that is by no means a small thing. And I think one of the reasons why UNESCO has designated reggae an intangible heritage product, a heritage asset of the humanity, not just of Jamaica. So we are blessed to be able to build on the shoulders and the foundation that was our foreparents, and to be able to take our condition and turn it into something magic.
Any new trends that you're noticing through this generation in their interpretation, internalizing of Bogle, for instance, as a lifestyle, as an education?
Well, it's funny because, like I said, the workshop we just did was at the Edna Manley College, which is the visual and performing arts college here in Kingston, Jamaica. And so there's a definite move to continue to stimulate, to maintain the legacy of people like Bogle, to begin to ensure that it's not just something we think about once a year, but something that becomes part of the lexicon, part of the fabric of the next generation's work. And so, yes, every effort is made through entities like International Reggae Day to continue to shine a light on the architects and on the innovators and on the creators of this cultural form that has literally taken the world by storm. I don't think there's anywhere on the planet you can go where there's not a Jamaican flag flying.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, and all the best. Hopefully we will one day experience it in Jamaica. That is Andrea Davis. She is based in Jamaica, as you saw her speaking to us. She's the organizer, founder of International Reggae Day.